I
Oh.
didn't know this is where I'd
Oh.
be sitting. Okay.
Oh yeah, you can totally sit on this thing. This is the
Yeah.
Drax Arcade. The Drax Arcade is also something I sponsor here. This is a sim of kids. They do kids role play. Um, I know it's controversial.
We didn't say anything now.
Yeah, but your silence speaks volumes.
Does it? Okay.
It's actually
Well,
no, no. I mean,
yeah.
this is one of my. Okay, so okay, let me do my intro. Then we take it. Um, I'll do my intro too,
Get right
so I
into it.
don't have
Yeah,
to
sure.
re-record this shit.
Is that a
Oops.
Pac-Man shirt making sound effects?
Does it make? Wait, no, no, no. Bring all the sound effects down. The sound effects are from downstairs from the arcade. If you cam downstairs. The Pac-Man shirt
Sound
does not make any
effects.
effects.
Yeah, and your audio adjustments in the top right.
Well, Mr. Moon,
Oh,
your associate
okay.
seems to be such a efficient manager, but he doesn't
You
know how to
know,
turn the sounds down. What the heck?
I've had to hold his hand a few times.
That's totally. By the way, can we swear in this or no?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine. I'll bleep
It's
it.
fine. Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
totally. Feel free to
get
absolutely.
the button ready.
This is not PBS, although I'm known as the Oh, you got your own button.
I got my own button. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Hello there, and welcome to the Drex Files Radio Hour. My name is Drexter Dupre, and this is the show for this week. And I am completely in a I'm a little bit in a depressed mode because I have come across a documentary that is so good that it puts into question everything I worked for the last 13 years here in Second Life. And as people know that I like to call myself the PBS or NPR of Second Life, I have come across the Adult Swim of Second Life. I don't know if that's a reference that is current or
Highly complimentary.
is that complimentary, or does that make me look like a 49-year-old dude who plays video games because he wants to run away from his family?
It could be both. Could be both.
Okay, here is
Stop putting yourself down, first off. Don't do that.
well, I'm
2 minutes
here.
into the whole thing, you're
Sec-
you're beating yourself up. Just
yeah,
calm
don't
down.
do that. And second of all, there was no documentary ever. Like the documentary didn't even happen in my video, so I don't even know
No
what to call it.
documentary at the end, was it? To be
Yeah, it
honest.
wasn't. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well,
Let's
listen,
be honest.
everybody knows the reason why I'm in Second Life is I can't afford therapy. So in like these interactions, I get a lot of out of it, and and then I get
Oh, well,
so
that's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. So no, I'll be but on a serious point, guys. With me here is Mr. Moon, and Brendon Voitz also goes by Vertigo Gaming, I guess is your
Correct.
name
Vertigo.
in
Yep, just Vertigo's fine. Yeah.
Vertigo. And it was actually the CEO of Linden Lab sent me your video, which is called
The
Ticket to Hell.
CEO.
The
The
CEO.
CEO, you
So,
hear this? We're making
Look
a
at
big time
that.
here.
Oh
so
my
the
God.
CEO of
We've made
Linden
it.
Lab is on lockdown, and he has nothing better to do than to Google Second Life video, and then he comes across. No, but so let me set this up real quick, and then I want to know how did this come together, and again, congratulations. I do think that you caught something quite. I mean, I don't know if I'm overanalyzing this. This is not the Drexter Film School, uh, but I do feel that in your Ticket to Hell, which is a 70-minute film of you guys basically coming into SL and being noobs and then figuring out how to make money, and you happen upon the sexual activities which we know are happening in SL, and but you start with wanting to do very wholesome business, mowing lawns and
Wholesome. The
such.
first thing he wants, the first thing he
Well,
wanted me to do is definitely not wholesome. Okay.
Well,
yes, but well, it's
that
but
was
but the circumstances demand you. I mean, I think it's a very practical approach. I mean, you need 15 Linden dollars, am I right? Or I don't
yeah.
actually know why you
Just
wanted
15.
15. I thought the
15
lawnmower
because
was
Well,
only 7.
right, but we went into a weed whacker two.
we wanted two.
So,
We wanted
we
two
needed,
more.
yeah, we needed two things. We both had to be working.
Exactly.
And, how else do you make 15 linden? So I brought him to the glory hole. There's nothing wrong.
Well, okay, so
Most disgusting place.
people who are listening to this have no idea what's going on. I'm going to
Yeah.
summarize this in 15 seconds, 1 linden per second.
Good luck.
You guys go into SL, you're noobs, and you have these newbie avatars, which are fairly new actually. The one guy looks a little bit like Ron Jeremy, or as you put it, Brendan, a sexual predator from the 70s. Um,
Are
Yes.
those new?
they are
Oh,
fair. Well, I think they've been around
okay.
maybe a couple of years, but in my like I'm ancient, so for me they're new. Um,
Gotcha.
I like my description. I think it's
All
spot
right.
on.
Stop interrupting him,
Stop
Voight, sir.
interrupting,
Alright, alright.
Mr. Voitz. I know you're the
Get the show
manager.
here.
You're used to take control and such, but you go in there and then you want to make money because you need to buy. You realize that you need to buy good looking avatars. Um, and you figure out that this weed whacker or lawnmower is 7 lindens, and then you make a lot of money by just standing there with a tip jar, and then you pimp out Mr. Moon as a boxer, and he gets beaten up, and you kind of I don't know. By the way, it's very early in the morning. My brain is just waking up. You then sort of go into a life of crime, I guess, and then you realize that I don't know what the end message is. Did you get corrupted by Second Life, or was it always there with you? Let's get into this philosophical stuff. Anyways, it's a 70-minute film. I think it's really remarkable. It makes fun of a lot of these cliches that people have in their minds about Second Life, but you also really have sort of interspersed there, Mr. Moon. You always go back to like little pockets of letting the residents speak, which I think
The
is
real
awesome.
people, of course. Oh,
Exactly.
of course.
And
Yeah.
and so there is also the tension between you guys, and I don't know if you scripted that, but you talk about like, Second Life is not a game, and you say these things that I've said over like in a million interviews with press, like, this is not a game. People find themselves, and then of course Vertigo or Mr. Voids here says, you're messed up, dude. You're getting sucked into this crap. These people are nuts. So there's this dynamic, which is awesome. But anyway, how did you decide to make this thing? Was this just
I
sort of
know.
like, yeah, we got to
It's
go in there. We've never been in there. We got to figure it out, or
Yeah, initially it was just me coming in here and I didn't know I wanted to come up with a different video. I had known about Second Life for a long time and always wanted to do something in here because I know it's a great platform to create things. I didn't know how good it could actually be until I actually stepped into it. And I guess Verts could tell you how he came into play because if you watch the first like 10, 12 minutes of the video, that was my legit first experiences inside here before me and him even
right.
talked about collaborating on anything.
And that really
And
feels like, because you go in and it felt to me like, okay, this is maybe your sort of journal, like you're actually going in there, and then you figure out sometime, wait a minute, we could actually build like a story around this.
right, yeah, exactly. And Vertigo, how did
Well,
you I don't remember. How did you get involved?
oh
I think you
well.
just came in and were
He
like,
wanted
what are
to
you
make
doing
money. He
here?
was like, what? There's money to be made. Here I
Well,
am.
Moon has brought up the SL idea for a while. And I don't know if he remembers this, but he's been telling me off and on for years. He's brought up Second Life before and how he wanted to come in here and do something in here, and it never quite happened. He knew that I had experience in the game because he did bring it up to me maybe a year or two ago, and I told him that I had played it before, and that
He played
if
a
he'd done
lot
it,
of it. Don't let him
yeah,
fool you. I have
I
some
played a lot of it.
cutscenes that didn't
Ah.
go in about him
Could I tell my
explaining some of
story
his.
over here?
Okay,
Could
See,
I
sorry.
but
Go
tell my
me,
ahead.
but
story
me
over here?
again. I mean, we're analyzing each other. I'm analyzing you, Brandon, because I felt when I saw this, I go like, your disdain or your sort of your cynicism,
He knew what he
as
was
you
doing.
exactly as you
I've
expressed it to
experienced
Mr.
everything in
Moon.
here.
That's right. You
Yeah,
wanted to warn him. It's
I've
like some
experienced everything.
guy who goes to, who finds Jesus, and tells everybody to stop smoking crack because he
Right.
was a crack addict.
Well, I know how addicting this game could be. So when he came to
It's
me
not a
with
game,
the
by the way.
idea, originally the
Not a
idea,
game.
he didn't have really a direction into where he was going. I knew that he was in here, and he was messaging me, and I came in here, I think maybe even a month or two before I even started recording with him, And I taught him some stuff. I taught him how to get certain objects and items. We bought a bunch of things. I took him places. I took him to a role play sim, a Star Wars role play sim to show him all that.
What you
And
used to
basically,
do.
what I used to do, basically, I gave
Yeah.
him an idea of what I used to do. I've been through it all in here. I've done the whole relationship thing. I did the whole marriage thing. I even did a little bit of the family thing. I did the role play stuff. I done everything, and I know how addicting it can be. Um, so the original idea that he had was quite different to what it turned out to be. And one day he just messaged me and he's like, "Dude, you want to come on and start recording?" And honestly, um, how it all worked out was we teleported to that beach where I show up in
Hmm.
the video. And he said, "Okay, I'll just get on a board over here. I'll come over to you and we'll just make it up." And we just made it up. And
That's
it just,
awesome. I
It's
mean,
all.
this is really like improv theater in SL. I mean,
yep.
it's really remarkable. It's like when you come to the beach, that makes fun when people don't haven't seen it. You come in there, and that's where Mr. Moon is already sort of, he's in there. He's fascinated. He wants to stay in there, and you come in, and that dialogue is where you want to pull him out, and you warn him of all these impending dangers that he's
Mhm.
facing here. And yeah, it's great improv, man. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
there's a lot of hints throughout that first conversation with each
Yeah,
other that end up actually happening later on into the video. A lot of warnings do come true. I think I said that at one point he's going to become like 7 foot tall, full of tattoos, and like
that's
everyone else in
right.
this game, and he ends up being exactly that at the end. Um, and all that we didn't know. So we didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't know where it was going to go, where it was going to lead. It was just one idea after the other. Like the whole boxing thing, he had no idea. Like he was offline one day. I had the idea, went to a gym, talked to some people, organized the whole thing, and he logged on and we just did it. So it's all improv. But me and him have worked so many times in the past that we can bounce off each other relatively easy. It's a
Yeah,
mutual thing.
that's
So
improv is
um,
like what I do. That's like what my entire channel was built off of is role playing in games,
Hmm.
and I do a lot of it live on Twitch too,
I
where we
wasn't
play on like
familiar.
role play servers, and it's all improv stuff. So yeah.
It's really awesome. I wasn't familiar with your channel, so now I'm addicted to your channel. And what is also what I really like, and I don't know if I suppose you do this with your other stuff too. There is you know, I interviewed a lot of people over the years. I have this whole interview with a troll who came in SL, and she was like after me, and she said, "Hey, Dragster, you're so old, man. You're so lame." That was her whole shtick. And I go like, "Yeah, I could probably be your dad. Yeah, and you're sitting around a game on Saturday. You're so lame, Dragster." And go like, you are maybe 25. Why are you sitting here on a Saturday? I think there's a problem with you. So I've interviewed a lot of
Mm.
people who use SL as this shtick to kind of just ridicule people. Um, and I find that, pretty cheap to be honest. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
so
It
what you did,
was.
but
I,
but you incorporate the quirkiness and
y-
the quote unquote weirdness in a kind of a respectful way. I mean, it's when you
it
walk
was. It
around
was.
and try to weed people's lawns and then they have sex and and you go like, I'm sorry, you're not interested in mowing the lawn," and it's just brilliant. Yeah.
It was important for me for it not to be a hit piece on Second Life. We didn't want anybody here to like hate us and just to be in here making fun of them. We wanted to. Why destroy when you can create? This is a awesome place to be able to create some interesting content. So that was my initial
and
thoughts.
and there's more to Second Life. Like, there's no doubt that this game is full of a
It's not a
lot
game.
of debauchery.
Not a
Okay, no, it's not
game.
a game. This platform has a
It's a
lot of
world.
debauchery. It has a very dark side to it. The whole sex thing happens, and the
As does
relationships
the
are very
real world.
complex.
As does the real
Correct.
world. I mean,
But if you dig deeper into the game, there is a lot here, and that's what I told Moon, and that's what I love about this video that he created. That he's done a lot of role play stuff, and this wasn't really a role play. This was a deep dive into how this game consumes people to the point where a lot of people have replaced most of their time in real life into here to create, to build relationships, and all that. So that's really, I feel like, in my perspective of the whole thing, it shows that a deep dive into how a world like this can eat somebody up and consume them a little bit, and that's the way I saw it watching it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I mean, my audience doesn't need to have an introduction into how I feel about these things because I'm a broken record, and I say this all the time. And my wife would run away from me if she weren't on lockdown with me right now because I tell it to her too for the last 13 years. Is that there is a promise and a peril to something like SL, but uh, I personally have, of course, I'm trying to focus on the positive stuff where people come together who would otherwise be very isolated, and sort of the powerful positive stuff that reverberates back into the physical realm. Um, and of course, that's not, not I'm not trying to gloss over issues of uh, addiction and such, or destroying of, let's be specific, real world
Mm-hmm.
relationships that game or other things can do. But I would argue, and I've argued this to the mainstream press in countless interviews, is that addiction starts with bad reality television, and I don't know, alcohol or whatever. Um, that's perfectly capable of destroying your life. I don't need a a role playing game for that, if you will. Although I don't think SL is a role playing game. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Brendan analyzed himself maybe here in this video. No, I mean I don't.
Killing
Wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. Okay, all right. Okay,
No, no,
What I
all
I
say
right.
I
here?
I just want to make sure I
Go ahead.
don't disagree with you at all, Brendan. And I see this, everybody sees what you guys did through their own lens, and that's why it's really brilliant. I'm just adding my point of view, that what I decided to do is, some could say I cherry pick positive stuff. We did this whole series about people who meet in SL who get married and have very positive outcome. For each one of those
Of course that
people,
happens.
I'm sure, exactly. So I don't want to
Of course
I
that
don't want to
happens.
make a judgment of what happens more. Is there more destruction versus more getting together? But I don't disagree with you at all.
SL's a world of like limitless opportunities, and there's no goal to this game. It's whatever you want it to be. So
It's
of
not a
course
game.
there's the good and there's the
Not a
bad, and
game.
yes, my God.
I need a button to say.
So there's
No, go ahead, go ahead.
um I've lost my train of thought now. You guys have thrown me off.
Well, if you
Um
would just adhere to what the right term is for this thing, which is not a game,
the
uh,
platform, the
the
world,
world.
whatever it may
Creativity
be.
and love.
Listen,
Yes.
Professor
Yes, and
Tom
love.
Bölsdorf from University of California at Irvine, who I profiled many times, has said Second Life is not a game, it's a world, just like a football stadium or the Rose Bowl in Pasadena is not a game, it is a place where you can play a game. Boom. I'm not an
Correct.
academic, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
quoting
Nice.
him.
just
Yeah, we
makes
got you.
sense because there's games within this world as well. So
Oh, many, many.
many, yeah.
Yeah, we had fun. I mean, yeah, it's great. It's great.
So this killed
What
the
else?
room.
Oh, well, I stopped talking, then you guys then on to. I
No,
mean,
no, we
dude, tell them
stepped on
something.
Brendan. That was yeah, yeah. See, but
I'll-
You,
I,
as usual, it's just step on me, of course, naturally.
what do you mean? Come on now.
I
All right.
can't.
Hey,
Brendan
don't
is
be
such
so
a sensitive
sensitive.
guy.
He's
Look at
well.
him.
I'm not a
How he
sensitive
You,
guy,
did you see
okay?
the last part of the video? He's still
Yes.
upset about that. He
Because
didn't
okay,
know.
I want to clear the record. I want to clear the record right now, right now. Okay, dude. People that watching this video of Moons, okay, that ending is a complete travesty to the reality of what happened. Okay, there was no such thing as Sanchez. He doesn't exist. He was not in the room when I was there. This was all post production movie magic, people. That
Mm-hmm.
Moon put together to
Well,
make me look bad. And wasn't the
you don't
only
need to
time in the film either.
spoil anything
It's
like
like
that.
the end
but
of Blade Runner.
okay.
Because people think I'm a pervert, okay? And I detest
If I told you
my
that I have
character's
this guy
ignorant.
waiting at the door named Sanchez, you would have been all up in arms about it. But like, no, I'm not going to be made to look like that. But that was the selling point of the end of the movie was all
That was
along.
the
That's the
selling
real.
point.
That's the selling point. Is that all
I
along
saw
after
the
all
other
of our
ending. He had an
travels?
alternate ending.
Can I
He had an
finish?
alternate ending.
Can I
Oh, he
finish?
did?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Go
he had
ahead.
an alternate. Okay.
After all of our travels and everything we learned out of the entire experience, in the end, it was your ass that needed to be sold.
Yeah. That's the
That's
story.
no,
He
okay.
took me to the glory hole to get
That's the
fucked.
story.
It didn't work, but at the end of the day, I still
Oh,
get
you got
fucked
it to the
anyway. It's great.
timestamp
Good
so that-
storytelling, Moon.
Okay, yeah, stop swearing. He's
No,
got to
no, you
mute
can
these.
swear that, but
Dude, well,
it's
you're the
just-
one bringing up. You're bringing up my ass to the world.
okay.
Well,
listen,
Sanchez bought that shit.
So Moon, I
sorry.
think, is saying here that the story didn't have enough punch at the end, and he had to kind of doctor it like they do
Oh
in
yeah,
Hollywood.
yeah. I went through the end multiple times.
Yeah.
He knows. Voights knows. I was like, I just not feeling the end right now because we had this great zoom out of the window, and it was just him locked on the table. I was like, there needs to be something else happening there that kind of ties it all together a little bit. So yeah, I added in Sanchez. Sue me.
I think the
There was
ending
also
is. I think the
talk
ending
of
is
doing
good.
ending where we were. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the ending is good because the ending also then shows a little bit. I mean, you, Brent, I don't want to spoil it, but you're in a certain predicament here, and I think that's what you had coming because you've been so focused on
That's
the capitalistic aspect throughout the entire narrative. No,
I'm the villain in this film. Is that
so
what you're
I'm
saying?
seeing this through
I'm the
my
villain.
Marxist lens, but so yeah.
This is, what have you done, Moon? This is ridiculous.
It's
is very
all
deep.
coming
Behind
together.
this?
I love how you're
God,
looking
there's
at
so
it
much
this
I wanna
deeply. I
say.
really do appreciate.
I'm gonna
that.
write a book about it. I'll tell you. This
Yeah.
will be taught in film school. That's why I'm so upset. I thought I'll be being taught in. I will be taught in film school 100 years from now, but I think it's gonna be you guys. Um,
I'm the hero. I'm the hero in this film. Look, listen,
No,
if it wasn't
you-
for me, we wouldn't have made the money,
just
and we wouldn't look like this.
You're
I'm
like
the
my-
hero. I'm a goddamn hero.
you look like Michael. No offense, you look good, but a little bit like Michael Douglas in Wall Street. No?
Yeah.
Right
Can
now?
I ask a question, Draxter? Can I ask a question? Who's the villain? The one making 10,000 lindens for his buddy, or the one trying to sell his buddy for sex? Which one's the real villain?
It's a good point. I think you're
Exactly.
both victims of a vicious system, just like the Joker is.
Mhm.
In that sense, it's deeper than the Joker movie because it's
I'm a victim to Sony Vegas.
I
Pro,
like
but I'm
where your
a-
head's at, Drac. Let him finish. This is great.
I think you come
Go
into
ahead.
a world that pretends to be, or as Mr. Moon says when he first reses as Ron Jeremy with his little bag there, um, it pretends to be a place where you can express yourself and you can be all that you can be and all these slogans. But then he realizes very, very quickly that it has to do with having that you can only express yourself when you have the funds to do it, meaning you have to upgrade your standard avatar and you have to play the game with the proper look, with the proper skin, which can the mesh skin, the bento hands, they set you back 10,000 lindens. We all know that. So this kind of peer pressure that exists, that you're looked
Mhm.
down upon if you just come in as the noob, is sort of turning this whole promise on its head that you can actually express yourself. And I think that's what this movie is about. It's essentially a deep critique of capitalism. Um, and you, Mr.
It's
Voice, I'm sorry. I mean, it's not that you're the villain. You're also a victim of the system because you operate within the system, and in a very sort of focused fashion, you're trying to achieve Mr. Moon's goal in to fit in, but you are helping him to fit in with sort of the run-of-the-mill tools, which means making money, making more money, and then getting caught up in the glory of living in that moneyed framework.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I love how you watched it this deeply. It really is. It blows me away. To see the comments actually on the video have been amazing too. I didn't expect it to be that well received in the comment section, but it's been a lot of the best comments I've ever gotten, honestly.
I mean, quite seriously, I really do think that you're capturing the total. I was gonna ask now, why do you? Because you guys are gamers too, and I say this all the time. I'm not a gamer. I stumbled upon Second Life a complete coincidence, and I was working in radio at the time, and it's like I gotta document this stuff, and so I come from a completely different sort of background, but you guys are gamers, and what has fascinated me over the years, and I think you touch upon this too a little bit in the film. Why do you guys think that gamers in general, I'm generalizing, really not only I don't know if hate is the right word, but it's just this convenient punching bag for gamers. Now, for me as a non-gamer, I come from the music business. I have, even with people, my own friends of my own peer group and the same age, I have limited overlap because they go like, "Oh yeah, I remember the Amiga games and the Commodore," and I go like, "I don't know. I practiced guitar all day long. I didn't play any games." So what I don't understand is that, and I don't want to demean gamers either, but what I don't understand is that people who spend 8 hours a day playing sort of a corporate game would would
Hmm.
ridicule Second Lifers for wasting their lives away. You
Yeah,
know,
that argument doesn't make sense. Yeah,
right?
I
But
can
it
clearly
happens, right?
see. Yeah, I understand it to an extent, is why gamers kind of look at it and laugh at it, because the
Maybe it's
normal
because
gamer
older
wants to.
people are like, "Oh, look, my mom is trying to look hot," while, that's kind of lame. So like maybe it's that kind of thing, or
Well, I don't know. Gamers want, they want a clear end. They want a clear goal. They want to become good at it. They want to have fun. It's not that. It's not that at all.
hmm
It's just a completely different platform where I don't know. The fun comes in to whatever you want to do. Like I had a lot of fun just creating the characters. Like I had 3 different avatars. I think I wore throughout the movie,
hmm
and I always loved, my favorite part in games is a lot of it is custom character customization, and
hmm
I was always a huge fan of that. So that's kind of what really got me having fun with this. What was doing a lot of the character stuff, the avatar stuff.
hmm
And
But yeah,
I
go ahead.
no,
Oh,
I think a lot of it has to do with just.
yeah,
So I'm lagging here,
yeah.
Kev.
All
I'm a little
right.
bit
So he's in
delayed. Okay.
Well, you're in
Australia. Here we
Australia.
I don't
go.
mean to talk. Yeah, if I talk over you, I don't mean to do
It's all right.
that.
I don't have anything
It's all
But
important to
right.
say.
My son's violin teacher
I think
was
it has
from
a lot to do
Australia.
with
She always used to
misunderstanding as
say,
well.
"Chop, chop, chop." I love when Australians say that like they say, "Chop, chop, 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 dude." Oh no, bloke. Oh, mate.
Chop.
Sorry.
I've never heard the term chop chop in my life, except for, actually, never mind. I'm
Really?
gonna bring that up. But
Don't say that.
no, no.
Go ahead.
But I think a lot of it has to do with misunderstanding as well. Not many people understand Second Life, and they only what they know about it is what's out there. And unfortunately for Second Life, the reality is a lot of negative videos, and if it's ever in a show or if it's featured anywhere from an outside point of view, it's not always in the best light. So gamers, they don't look into things, they don't understand. There is a creative side to this world, and it has a lot of strengths, but it does have other downsides to it, which unfortunately is in the forefront when it comes to the gaming community. That's what they see, and that's what they get told, and that's what they know, and
Mm.
they don't have any interest in really digging any deeper than that. So I think a lot has to do with misunderstanding and just not getting a grasp of exactly what Second Life is.
I think so. I mean, I completely agree with both of you guys. It's just something that is fascinating to me that it's such sort of the go-to punching bag. And sometimes, when I observe the media often, and it's like, oh, there's a slow news day. What can we do? Oh yeah, let's look into Second Life if something weird is happening. If somebody like divorced their husband because their wife because they met a stripper in SL or something. And actually, that did happen with the Daily Mail. I mean, that's what they do
Oh,
all day
really?
long. Yeah, yeah. I was just doing a story, Love Made in SL, where this couple met and they've been married for 12 years. They have kids. Everything is awesome. And then we released the video. The next day, the Daily Mail comes out with a story where it's like, this husband, this father of four, divorced his wife and got married to a stripper in Second Life. So it's like this go-to
Yeah.
thing,
Yikes.
but for and I don't want to harp on this, but for gamers, and I know that within the gaming community, some people, get into fights with like, this is my favorite game, but the game that you're passionate about sucks. So that kind of childish thing is happening too. But I guess with SL, like you guys were saying, there's one is a misunderstanding of what it can be, but it's also that it doesn't have a clear objective, and that kind of makes it look somewhat lame. And I
Mm.
and I'm also convinced that because of the public perception that it's basically older people sort of recapturing their youth with cool looking avatars and going dancing and then hooking up and stuff,
Hmm.
that might
Which
play
we've
into
seen
it
a
too.
lot of. Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
but see,
there's
but
so
you
many
find
avatars out
what
there that are 15
but
years old. It's crazy.
but listen, you find what you seek, wouldn't you agree?
Perhaps. Yes. Yes. Well, I mean, I don't know if I was looking for that. I've definitely seen it a lot. I mean, I love listening to live music. So I had a lot of fun, and which I'm actually a little upset with myself for not putting any of the live music in the movie. But we are going to be actually working on a part two.
Oh, awesome.
Nudge, nudge. But yeah, well, I'll hope to incorporate some of that in there because there's lots of amazing singers. There's also lots of terrible ones too, which are nice little comedy piece there.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah. I mean, the quality is. You're absolutely right. It runs the gamut. But here's the thing. Okay, I want to touch on this because this is where I disagree with our friend Mr. Hamlet Au, who has a prominent Second Life blog where he maintains that sex is the motor or it's everything. And I know that you guys didn't say that. You didn't say that. But I
mm,
would say that this is not out of the ordinary. You know, dominating. If I go to Amsterdam, I was in Amsterdam when my son was 10, and you arrive at the train station. You can go to the left and get a prostitute, or you can go to the right and you go to the Rijksmuseum. You see a bunch of really cool museums. So this exists side by side. Same in San Francisco. If you drive through if I would sort of blindfold you, I don't know, you come from the countryside, put you into San Francisco, and lift your blindfold in front of I don't know, an X-rated theater and say, "So what do you think?" And would you then say San Francisco is all sex? No, you wouldn't.
true.
And
Yeah.
and again, I mean, you didn't say that but you said you saw a lot. So
Hmm.
I don't see it a lot though.
Maybe you
And
should
I'm
go
in
try to
Second
go
Life
door to
8
door with
hours a day.
lawnmowers and see how you go. Because every house we went to, that's what we saw.
Yeah,
Every goddamn house.
it was
Listen,
that was
when it,
not
when it,
clever
when
editing. That was legit. The first
that was
four
legit.
houses
It
That
were.
is
was it was
awesome.
every house.
Okay,
But I will say this:
but they didn't
when it
have
comes to
blindfolds. Look, if you go to the suburb right now, if I would drive to the suburb right now, wouldn't I would get arrested because I'm on lockdown. But if I would do that and people didn't have their blinds down, maybe the same would be true.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Except maybe it just lasts a lot longer in here. People really drag this shit out.
Because of the
well,
lag, man.
the,
Because of the
we
lag.
went well half of them
And
didn't
they
even
have to
react.
type.
Like we went upstairs and moon slapped some chick's ass, and they literally didn't react at all. We're just standing there over their bed, creepy like, didn't react at all. They didn't even know we were there.
Well, they were in the moment. I mean,
I guess. I guess. I don't know. I
okay,
don't know what was.
you're
I mean,
absolutely
if that
right.
didn't take them out of the moment, I don't know. I don't know what would. But go ahead.
I guess I should really get a weed whacker and do this experiment for myself and then come to a
Please do.
sociological conclusion.
Don't buy the Seven Linden one because it sucks.
Yeah. What's the
I had.
problem with it? Is it rusty and
It doesn't even
I
turn
had a.
on. It's
It
not
doesn't
cool.
even
It's
turn
not
on.
fun
I
to
had a
play with.
lawnmower that. Yeah, mine had sound effects and animations, and his one was just
You
a
just
prop.
carry it. You can do anything with it. It's
was
seven
good.
lindens. I got what we paid for, I guess.
Yeah, I invested a little bit more into mine.
Yeah, I know you did. That's what the
Brendan
whole argument was about.
or or Vertigo, you've been we glossed over this. You do have a history in Second Life. You saw the good, bad, and the ugly. Did you have to go to did did somebody have to do an intervention with you? Did you get so addicted that you had to
Um,
smash your
I mean, there was
computer?
a point in time where I was unemployed. I was in my teens, and it was all I was doing. It was all I was doing. I was here every day. I'd wake up, log in, I'd stay all day, log out, and that was a daily thing for quite a while. So I wouldn't say that I needed an intervention, but eventually I got a job and I had other priorities I had to work out, and I kind of just drifted
Hmm.
away from it. And I experienced it all. So I know what this game's about. I know
It's not a
the ins
game.
and outs of it. So nothing in here surprised me, and that's what I was telling Moon, that when he told me he was making a movie in here, I knew that it was going to be good because literally anything that you can imagine, you can do in here. And Moon has got a great imagination, and he's used to working with games that kind of limit you in what you can and can't do. So if you come up with an idea and it can be done, there's just so much you can do with it. It's like having Play-Doh. You can create what you want. So I always knew that it would end up good, and my experience did help, especially with all the boxing stuff. Having the experience in the game definitely helped out with that, and it gave us a bit of a direction where to go with the story.
It's so
So
funny that boxing is such a. I just read a book. I'm a big book
mhm.
nerd. I read a book that I recommend. It's called A Naked Singularity, written by Sergio de la Pava, who is a public defender in New York, and it has this big boxing metaphor. It's a super weird, um, amazing book, and he goes back and forth with the boxing. So I mean, it's not you've seen the boxing as a stand-in and a metaphor. Here I'm going all analytical on you guys again, film school style. Um,
Was that your intent there, Vertigo? You were going to use the whole boxing thing as a metaphor? Is that your
No, I
you
intent?
had
can
done it before in the
this
past.
is what good artists do. They just pretend that it was
Yeah,
all a plan.
Yes,
yeah,
of course, I
totally.
planned that all
That's
along. No, in reality,
exactly what we were doing there.
The
in
pre-production process
reality, I
was
had just done it in the past. I had done boxing in the past. That's the reality of it. I had done it in Second Life. I did boxing and wrestling in this game. Um, so I knew that it existed, and I knew it'd be funny. And by the way, him not being able to win that fight was totally legit. I did have the guy rig his HUD so he could do no damage to his opponent.
wow.
And he had, yeah, it was
No,
Uh-huh.
what
totally
he did
rigged.
was he rigged the opponent had their HUD set so they couldn't go below 50% health, which was bullshit.
For folks who,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to spoil the film, but I can give away
Okay,
this. I mean, I can give away that you basically rigged this and made more money. You put as
Hmm.
Mr. Moon's manager, you put him into the fight, and he loses. He's in a wheelchair, but you made basically double because you bet on his loss, which any man with
Yep.
any good manager would do if you make double. Am I right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have worked it out. Like, as if
Yeah.
someone's going to pay him 5,000 linders. He's never fought before, and they're going to pay him. Is he crazy? It was totally just advertisement money.
I know, yeah,
He,
that's all it was.
um,
The guy, you because I don't know what he said to this boxing promoter who owned the gym, but he must have been throwing out the YouTube channels and being like, this is gonna get you traffic in here and all that. So he's like, yeah, I'll pay you.
This is
Like
this.
yeah,
he did pay us all that. Like that was all real. Like
yeah, we got
pay
paid.
us.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, you then did make a kind of a documentary because, I mean, Vertigo, Mr. Voitz did have to go in and hustle and get a
Yeah.
relative nobody into the ring here and all that. And did you really? Okay, so there's this scene where you're in London, I believe, and yeah, it's in London, and that's where you make your initial money with a tip jar. And people just
Yep.
tip you I gotta do
Hundreds.
this. Why am I not in this business? You're standing there and people tip you
It's not like
hundreds
that
of
all the time because I cut out the second time we went there, and it was not like that at all. We got lucky with the group that was there that first time.
and it's
We
a
just did
group
our usual
dynamic, I guess,
shtick, our
because
usual routine, and it's like an Abbott and Costello routine at this point, and the money just started rolling in.
It
why
was, yeah.
why do you think that is? Why do you think that people gave you this money? Did you tell jokes?
And we made them laugh. They thought we were funny. They probably pitied us a little bit because we
Hmm.
looked pretty pathetic. We were
Yeah,
acting pretty pathetic.
I had gone to London quite a few times before Verts came in. I was because it was always like a nice. I was always looking for places with voice chat because that's what I would like to capture. So I would go there, and a lot of the times there's people talking, but sometimes it's really quiet there. Not much is going on. So then us two just roll in there, and we're shouting, we're getting people together, and I don't know, maybe they just enjoyed the atmosphere that was going on.
It's remarkable. Uh,
It didn't happen the second time though. We went the second time and did a whole like little magic show, and that completely got cut from the movie. It was awful.
See, but you already, but that's probably because you already overthought it in the very beginning. You were, yeah, a little bit Abbott Costello. You were, uh,
You're giving us too much credit. We had a girl sit on a stool, and I slapped her ass and made her teleport away, and we pretended she disappeared.
that is good. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a lot of footage that he didn't use. We did a lot. We did a lot.
I mean, you already have a capable manager, Mr. Moon, but I'm going to throw this out there. You can take it or leave it. It's a free idea. I would start a Patreon campaign with limited edition physical DVD rollout with a nice package. Really nice
In the
cardboard.
uncensored version.
That's what
Absolutely.
people have said to do for the
Absolutely.
uncensored version.
The uncensored
I'm
version.
like,
Let's do it.
I just tell them to go and just go in there. You want to see it? Just go in. It's everywhere you look. If you want
We
it to
could
be
do a DVD with like all the outtakes, the X-rated version, and also a version of us commentating over the top of it. It'd be brilliant.
a DVD.
Why
Yeah.
not? You could have two. You could have 3 hours
I
of
don't
content on
even
that bad
have a
boy.
DVD
Pe-
player. Who has DVDs anymore? It's
people,
2020 Verts.
yes, but
Blu-ray.
people do actually buy. That's what I hear. Um, they do
Yeah.
they do buy limited edition, really collectible physical stuff. I mean, vinyl is back, CDs are back with like nice digipacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, the thing
Things
wasn't to
work.
come in here and actually make money. It was just kind of like a starting point for a story to develop, and when it develops naturally, that's when you always get the best content, and I think that's what we got.
I thought the whole point of Second Life was sex and money, but uh,
Yeah. Oh,
we did a thing where we did hang out at the welcome area a while ago. A friend of mine from Holland, and we would just have breakfast at the welcome area and see what happened. People came in. It was hilarious. So I know it's late. Let's wrap this up. It's a wonderful film, and again, me with my straight PBS style documentary, I have certainly failed because because I just
not at all.
I
I gotta
failed
check
to
out some of your
capture
videos.
the.
I did. You don't. No, don't say that.
I'm gonna
When you
delete
if you
my account. False, can you
oh
manage me?
stop. Yeah, wait. See, this
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
needs some help here. You gonna pick this guy up off the ground?
We could sign him up, no problem. I'll get my usual 70% cut. We'll be good.
70%. Oh wait, okay, okay. Get a
You can
So you
always.
think he was making? You think he was making more than 30%? Come on now.
What are you
He was
saying?
getting
You
chump
serious? You fucking
change.
serious?
Chump change. That's why he's wearing what he's wearing. He's cheap clothing.
This isn't cheap clothing,
Still
bub.
wearing the headband, I see.
This is a new headband I got last night for this interview.
Really? You bought a headband? You could literally make a cylinder and just put it on your head. It looks
I
exactly the
don't
same.
know how to create. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
We're gonna dive into that. Don't worry about that.
Episode
We're gonna
2
go bonus
coming
episode.
soon.
Yep. 2021.
It'll be this year.
Awesome. I'm looking here through my notes because I put out some actually did write down some hilarious quotes where you said, I was a basic bitch," you say in your narration. That's so funny.
Yep.
Oh, it's a funny video. It's definitely high comedy.
It is. Okay, I'm going to go off into my lockdown day. And
Okay.
any last words? Would you recommend Second Life to your to an educator?
To an educator.
We just had an educational conference and people were um, really enthused actually. And then some people would say, "Yeah, but what about the sex?" And then say, if you keep it confined, if you don't stray. Again, this is my Amsterdam argument. If you're at a conference in Amsterdam, flown in from
Yeah,
wherever.
you're an adult. It's like you make your own decisions.
Exactly. What you gonna do after hours? You gonna stay at the hotel, read a book, or go to the red light district? It's up to you.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I don't know who. It's still hard for me to point to who I would recommend it to. It's kind of like take it for what you see. If it looks like something that could interest you, or you might want to get in there and create something, it can totally be a platform for that. The thing I really got out of it was this is an awesome place where like I can basically create like my own cartoons in here. Basically, like you
Right,
can do anything. We could
right.
set up any scene, and the characters look great,
It's
in,
like a
in my
Hollywood
opinion.
studio. It's like a backdrop Hollywood studio, and you captured
Yeah,
also the yeah, I also want to say this, and people need to watch it because there are certain limitations, and there's this whole argument about visual fidelity, especially now with sort of next generation immersive VR stuff, and people go like, yeah, Second Life is old. And I say, you know what? There are certain limitations, but like you said, the avatar customization is absolutely limitless. And what you guys did also in the sort of the visual style, you worked around some of the visual limitations and really kind of created your own aesthetic. I mean, especially when Sanchez, I know that Voice really doesn't like that scene, but when Sanchez
no, he
comes in
loves
at
it.
the end, I mean, this is good stuff. I mean, this is Tarantino type stuff.
Right, right. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Tarantino, yeah. Man.
I love it.
Come on, Voice. When you get the Academy Award for this thing, uh, you'll get over the
Yeah,
fact that
I'm gonna get something out of this because all
we
I've
gotta
gotten
get.
out of it is a bunch of insults. That's all I've received out of this. Courtesy of my good friend over here.
Hey, you're gonna redeem yourself in episode 2, and
I
we'll
don't. I'm.
find a
I
way for
don't
a
know if you're gonna let
character
me
arc.
do that. I feel like you were going to besmirch me further.
you got to really
Well,
have this
it's
stuff in legal. You got to have this stuff in writing, Voice. You have to really make sure that I understand you're a little bit afraid of the sequel here, that you're getting further sort of dragged through the mud, but
please.
Listen,
He's more hyped
listen.
about it than I am. He loves it. He
I.
loves being in here. He really does.
I'm. I'm gonna make it successful again. I mean, I'm a hustler. I'm
make
a
Second Life
schemer,
great again.
and I got great ideas, great things that are coming for the sequel. Great things.
Well, I got great things too. Should we give a little hint?
Oh yeah.
Uh, teaser.
Adoption. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if we're actually gonna do that.
And
I
we've
did an
been
adoption.
throwing a lot of ideas.
This was my second video. I'll send it to you. In 2007, I did a story about adoption, and I'm working on a small documentary with a couple in New York City. They actually run an adoption agency in SL. It's very interesting. It's super wholesome. I know you guys
Yeah, we
like
got a
that.
Okay.
few ideas. We've been
Yeah.
throwing around ideas. As I said, it's very limitless in here. Anything we want to do, we can do. But we've thrown some ideas that we thought would be funny. But I am excited for the sequel. I think we got a lot more to tell, and there's a lot more to tell.
Yeah, we feel like we just scratched the surface.
Last question. The Oops, I'm sorry. I gotta probably cut this because now I'm distracted. I wanted to send you guys my Make SL Great Again baseball hat. Hold on.
Sure. I'll rock that.
Is it gonna fit your head? You got a massive head, dude.
I'll figure it out.
Massive dome.
Forgot your username.
It's abnormally large. It's like twice as big as mine.
No, it's a normal size head. What are you
Maybe it's because
talking
of the
about?
jacket. You look smaller. I don't know. Your head looks like a balloon.
I have big hair.
Yeah.
You need new hair, dude.
Bullshit. Yeah, so you can wear this hair. You wanted this hair.
I
Don't
saw
give me that.
I saw people like Mr. Moon when I first came to America in '94, and we went to the Rainbow on the Sunset Strip by
Yeah,
all
Moon's
these
still living in
rockers.
1994, unfortunately.
He still lives in 1994.
Yeah.
I don't know how to take that, but sure.
Come on, that's a compliment. That's a big compliment. This was
I think I
19.
look good.
It's like
You look
Napoleon
great.
Dynamite, where the dude lives in 1982. You live in 1994. There's nothing wrong with it.
He's like, Moon's always going for the serial killer vibe. That's his thing.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap it. I'm gonna wrap it here. I'll edit it a little bit and put it on the podcast. Um, awesome. Any last words from you guys? It's late over there. It's early here. God, I used to be in morning radio. Can you believe it? I was at the station
Oh,
at
really?
5 in the morning. Yeah.
Well,
Th-
thanks for getting up and doing the interview at a time we
Oh,
could
no
all make
problem.
it.
Congratulations. You're really, I mean, again, I mean, I know. I mean, I really seriously mean this. You captured something that is so, you captured an essence of what SL is, and it will polarize people. It will make some people say this is the cesspool, this is the end of mankind, right? This is we're going to hell in a handbasket, or as the title suggests, ticket to hell. And others will say, wow, this is the kind of creative environment that I've been craving. And so
Yeah,
I think that's what probably the most reactions are, that they kind of uh, see themselves sort of confirmed in their fears and in their hopes about what SL is. But it's brilliant. Yeah.
thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for the kind words. And honestly, I think we're both just humbled that actually a lot of the SL community is coming out and showing a little bit of support for it. And because I didn't think that any of them were gonna lie. I thought we were gonna be
Oh, yeah.
uh,
He was worried that everyone was going to, the SL community would despise it. But,
hate us. Well,
Yeah.
just think of us as like more trolls coming in and just
Yeah, and I mean,
messing with them. And
uh, uh, but see, I feel that you understand that that while you were making, and when you put out, that you had I mean, you've said as much earlier that there was an understanding that this is, in a sense, I mean, that's why I feel so protective. I get upset sometimes when I do interviews with press. I did an interview with the Telegraph a couple of weeks ago, and the guy was very nice, but then the quote he took, well, I mean, I did say it, so, but but a lot of the
context matters.
it does, but a lot of the people in SL, I mean, they have shut down. They feel they're constantly being ridiculed, and I interviewed so many people who said, you know, I don't talk to my family or anybody about what I do in here because I tried, and then there's this vicious response of like, are you crazy? It's like almost like, what, you joined Scientology, are you crazy, that kind of thing. You know, it's like
Hmm.
it prompts a visceral reaction because, like you said, based on public perception, media representation, and so on and so forth. So um so you were concerned while you were doing it that they would see you as the enemy,
Perhaps
making an
I
influx.
wasn't sure of how it would be received. But so far so good. So and getting to meet nice people like you who even make a living out of here is cool too. And appreciate you having us on the program.
I don't make as much as the people who made your skin. These people make so much money. It's unbelievable. It's
Yeah, that might be
unbelievable.
something we have to look into.
that's
Yep.
what we're going to be doing for the sequel. We're going to make our own skin shop. It's going to be
Yeah, I'm sure
great.
it'll
Oh
be
my God,
a
that's a
huge
good
hit.
idea. Yeah.
That's why I'm the manager, mate. That's why I'm the manager. The
Yep.
skin store.
I mean, it can't be that hard, right?
I'm just going to take
It's
some, I don't know, some.
It's got to be super hard because there's only like three bodies.
yep.
We'll just
Or,
jump
well,
in
there's more
Microsoft
than that,
Paint
but
and
three
off we
main.
go.
But there's like Bellaza,
Wait,
aesthetic,
You
and
talked over Brendon. This was brilliant. There's Microsoft Paint. Let's go
Yeah,
do
I'm
it.
going to open up Microsoft Paint. I'm going to make some skin, and that's it. What else do you want me to? Yeah, listen, it's going to be great. People are going to flock to it. Even, you know, the worse it looks, the better. I mean, we can't compete with the higher tier stuff,
Yep.
so we might as well make crap for the people that can't afford it.
It's a horrible idea, but
Wow.
okay, yeah, sure.
This borderline
You-
sociopathic belief in your own abilities, Brendon, is really, I think, what will propel you to stardom. There's no doubt about it.
Do you
You've
see
got
our bodies? Do you see our clothes?
Yes.
This ain't fake, okay? This is real money that we've made here.
This is real mesh, Drax.
I know.
Real mesh.
Exactly. And you know, I got this mesh, so don't down in the Voitz, okay?
All right.
Take it easy.
I'm gonna cut
Okay, I'll
here.
take it
This is all. This is brilliant.
Thank you for the interview. Appreciate that.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you for having us.
And